Hello, everybody. It's Saturday afternoon at the time of this recording, and I'm going through my Super Nintendo collection just to sort things out. And I got the idea, why not show my collection? Now, I know there's a lot of collection videos out there, and probably way too many to count, and it's probably gonna get lost in the shuffle. But anyone who sees this video, if they like it, hey, that's all that matters. And I'm not going to talk too much in detail because I have about 159, 160 games, and that's going to take a long time. So I'm just going to read through everything, and maybe I'll say a few things about it. But anyway, let's get started. We start with Hyperzone, a game when I bought it actually kind of reminded me of F-Zero. Obviously not as good as F-Zero, but it's not bad. Flashback. Really hard game, but fun. The best baseball game on the Super Nintendo. Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball. It's probably the best, might even be the best sports game on the system. I don't know. At least I believe so. Followed by its sequel, Ken Griffey Jr. presents. Ken Griffey Jr. presents Winning Run. Ken Griffey Winning Run. Sorry, made by Rare actually. Not quite as good as Ken Griffey Jr. presents. This game, a friend of mine and I play this game constantly. Like every time we see each other, we play this game. I win all the time, of course. 2020 Super Baseball or Super Baseball 2020. We always have great battles in this game. I still beat them though. What else? MLB BPA Players Association Baseball. Just a EA baseball game. Pretty bad. Actually, it's not bad, it's just outdated. Tecmo's Super Baseball, sorry. Not bad game at all. And you know what game Ryan Sandberg from the Chicago Cubs plays? Super Baseball. Super Bases Loaded, sorry. I'm just screwing up today. I don't know what's wrong with me. NFL Quarterback Club. Super Off-Road the Baja, and I hate this game with a passion. It's really, really bad. Frame rate issues, but it's not very good actually. Zuaka 8 Hours. Sorry, I can't talk today. Don't know much about it. Actually had a pretty good, cool soundtrack, but game. I'm not the biggest racing game fan, honestly. It never was all that good. I have quite a few of them, but There's Frogger. This is, I believe, the last Super Nintendo game ever made, or ever released. Released officially. Man, this thing's been worn. I mean, it's Frogger, so Frogger isn't. It's hard to fuck up Frogger. It really is hard to fuck up Frogger. But people have done it and have tried. A very bland beat 'em up rival turf. That's all I need to say about that one. Bulls versus Blazers in the NBA playoffs. I think this is one of the first EA basketball games for the system. Big Bulls fan, so obviously when I saw it, like, I can play as Michael Jordan, but it is not very good. Again, sports games don't really age very well, I've noticed. Probably why they're cheap. And unfortunately, with the jacked up label, if you can see it, it's Looney Tunes B-Ball. It's a good game. I like the game a lot. It's very much like NBA Jam with Looney Tunes characters, but yeah, there's something wrong with it. But still play it, so. I say when I collect games, I don't really care about the labels being done, being jacked up, or the markers on it. I actually like it that way because it shows that the thing has history, that it's been through things. It's like holding a piece of history in your hands. And other than that, I guess that makes me a bad collector. I don't know. Super Battleship. Not much to say that. It's just Battleship with super in the title. I think that's like on game mode, but Clue. I actually like this game a lot. I had a Super Nintendo party years ago, and I had all these games to play, but they wanted to play Clue. And it's like, I have Donkey Kong Country. It's like, no, we want to play Clue. It's like, okay, fine. Hey, they at least had fun. The Jungle Book. Kind of an average platformer, but pretty good actually. I haven't played it very much. Pitfall: The Mayan Adventures. It's obviously not as good as the Atari game, but actually it's really nice platformer. Very good animation, very cool graphics for the time, and very well detailed. I like it a lot. WWF Super WrestleMania. And you can see how worn this is. It still plays. And it's actually it's the worst wrestling game I own. I think because I used to be a big wrestling fan growing up. I'm still kind of am. I like old stuff better, but I used to play this game constantly. Has not aged well at all, and it's one of those games where you have to really beat the buttons down to win a grapple. And I've seen people try to play it, and they're like to the point where it feels like they're going to break the controller, and it's like a tug of war. It's basically a tug of war, but it's not good, and not anymore. But I still happy to have it. It's nostalgia. Brett Hall Hockey '95. Just a hockey game with Brett Hall on it. Not really anything special about that one. One of the more recent games I got. Williams Arcade Classics. Look at there. This is actually pretty cool. This one has Joust, Sinistar, Defender 2, and I believe Robotron. And classic arcade game from Williams. And, about $3. For a Super Nintendo, $3 is fabulous. Because these fuckers are getting expensive as hell. That's why I'm kind of had to slow down collecting. Because, my God, I'm not going to pay $30 for a game now. I don't have much money. This game I always liked. Vegas Stakes. Probably the best casino game on the Super Nintendo. There's not many. I think there's like 2 or maybe 3. I own 2 of them. But this is probably one of the better ones. Actually, it is the best one. Very fun. If you're a gambling guy, I think you might like it. But I don't know. But I like it. It's a good game. Now, how can you go wrong with Miss Pac-Man? There's not much more I can say about that. It's just Miss fucking Pac-Man. Okay, Super Bowling. It's a good game. There's not many modes in it, so there's really no reason to play it anymore, other than the fact that if you like playing bowling, and it works well as a bowling game, but nothing too special about it. What else do we have here? Super Tennis, the best tennis game on the Super Nintendo. really difficult. But if you get once you start to get a hang of it, you can become really good at it. And once you get good at it, the game is fun as hell. I love it. That was a good day I got that. Hal's Hole in One. Not a bad game. It's golf. Actually, it's golf without any real golf clubs. Actually, you can tell it's not golf clubs because it's just a ball floating into a cup. You don't really see a golf club in there. I don't know. It's okay. Made by Hal. Hal makes pretty good games. Here is Paperboy 2. Paperboy 2, basically a souped up Paperboy. Not even really the biggest fan of Paperboy. But again, I usually pick up games that they have, I don't know about value, but games that look interesting or have legacies, and Paperboy does have a little bit of a legacy to it. But Paperboy 2, it's mediocre. Another mediocre game, Pac-Man 2, The New Adventure, sorry. Not much to say about this one either. This one's bad. Unfortunately, I'm getting a lot of bad games now. This one is Wing Commander. Much better known on the PC and probably a lot better on the PC. But it's pretty good. There's some pretty decent cinematics with Super Nintendo. And it was around that time when the cinematics were starting to get really popular. So, yeah, it's not a bad game. Not good at it. Darius Twin from Taito. Another jacked up label. Kind of an average shooter. Not bad, not good either. I wonder if you're watching this and you're like, when's he going to get to the fucking good games? My God. Mind you, I'm putting all this stuff in a bin. I'm in college right now, and I'm graduating pretty soon, so I am packing this all up. And all the bad games are generally going to be in the bottom, or the ones I don't play, they're going to be in the bottom. So I'm moving my way up. Don't worry. Samurai Showdown. Again, not much to say about this one. It's actually a fun fighting game, but the problem is it's better everywhere else. I think it's an SNK game, or it's played on or Neo Geo at least, and I think it's Neo Geo. I think so. Yeah. But it's pretty. It's pretty good. I shouldn't say pretty good. It's not that great, but it's fun. I liked it. Here we go. Super Play Action Football. The only Super Nintendo football game that's developed by Nintendo, and sad to say, they never could get that football down. So Nintendo usually makes great games, especially for the Super Nintendo. They're all A+ titles, and they have most of them. But they never could get sports right, unless it's like arcadey, like Punch Out. But other than that, they really couldn't really get that down. All right, now I'm just gonna go through these quickly because it's a series of sports games that are pretty much exactly the same. John Madden Football. John Madden Football 93. Madden 94. Madden 95. Madden 96. Madden 97, and you guessed it, Madden 98. Wow, that's a shocker. Uh, they all pretty much play the same. They didn't change much. Just like real Madden, they don't change very much. It seems like. So they, people are like, "Oh, the old Maddens were better," but they've done the same things before. Though those were fun games, they're not quite up to par, I think. What else do we got here? Actually, interesting. This is Super Pinball. This is the last game I bought. I got new when it was brand new from out of the box. I think it was Christmas of '98. My dad had decided to stop buying me Super Nintendo games and buy me the latest console. Even though I didn't particularly care either way if I had a new console or not. I like video games. I love video games. But I'm not one of those guys that has to go out and run out to buy the next console. I'm actually very happy just living under a rock and playing Super Nintendo games. That's just me because I am a poor loser, but that's okay. Here we go. The original Street Fighter 2, the one that's slower, the one that first came out, and yeah, that's not a bad game at all. Just it was done better. This is a classic. Well, classic to me. It's more nostalgia than anything else. It's Clay Fighter, claymation fighting game. It was funny back then when you were 10 years old. Not funny when you're 20. I'm not even going to say my age. Okay, 29 years old. It's not that funny anymore. So, but I still like it though. It actually has aged. The fighting's actually aged well for me, even though a lot of people don't really like it that much anymore. And NBA Hang Time. I wasted so many hours of my life playing that goddamn game because they have a created. It's one of the first NBA games that has like a create player, and you can't really create much. You can create your stats, but you can't really pick. You can pick and choose your head. That's pretty much all you can do. And one head in that game, it was a head of a child with wavy brown hair and glasses. And I swear to God, he looked exactly like me, like a 10-year-old me. And like, oh my God, I am actually in the game. I felt like I actually was in the game. That's how much I played that game. And then when I played the game again, like 10, 20 years later, then, not 20 years later, at least 10 years later, it still had the save. So I was playing myself as an 8-year-old all over again. So nostalgic overload. Let's just say that. Nostalgic overload. So that was, and of course it got erased somehow, and I was sad, but oh well. It's actually a really good game. But this one is the real classic. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I've been contemplating trying to buy the regular NBA Jam. It's kind of, I feel reluctant to do that considering it's like the exact same game, pretty much, except with maybe slightly updated rosters. Like I'm a Bulls fan at Horace Grant, done the Bulls and the original NBA Jam, and now he's on the Magic and NBA and Jam Tournament Edition. But that's a very minute difference to buy a game for at this time. I don't know. I'll probably buy it at some point if I see it. What else? Super high impact football. This is kind of like an NBA Jam for NFL at the time before NFL Blitz. It's okay. Just okay. It's not all that great. I can't really say too much more about it. It's okay. It's just okay. I wish I could say I don't want to offend super high impact football fans, but I think there's like 5. It's probably a lot more. I'm gonna get. I don't know who really wants to watch this channel. Anyway, Jellicos, or Jellico, I think. I always forget that name. Sterling Sharps end to end. This is one of the games I bought on a recommendation from Snes Drunk. I'm going to leave a link on this channel to show you, to give him some views, even though I don't think he really needs them. He is probably the best Super Nintendo reviewer out there. And he did like this video on all the football games that are worth buying. Super High Impact Football is one of his recommendations as well. Because, and he has a really good insight, even though I don't agree with some of his insights, but that's fine. He's generally really damn good, and I like him a lot. Obviously has a much bigger collection than I do, but okay, Earth Defense Force, or sometimes it's written as Super Defense Force. It's not bad, but I'm not a big shooter fan, except for maybe the big ones. But I'm not really a big shooter fan, so my opinions on them are going to be a little skewed. So if I don't want to upset anybody who, again, I don't want to upset fans of that game, if there are any. There probably is, but it's not a bad game. It's just not a game I play every day. I don't play games every day anyway. But what else? Championship Pool. Not much to say there. Just pool. Apparently won a championship. Only played like twice. This is another game that it is Super Black Bass. Pretty good. I don't know. I'm not a big fishing person. This was another game my dad bought me for Christmas 1998. That, oh my god, that's almost 20 fucking years. It's almost a fucking 20 years. I just realized that. Oh my god, I'm so old. I feel old, at least. But, was it 20 years? I don't know, I don't care. But, this with Super Pinball was the last ones. And, well, I bought brand new in the box. Capcom's Super Soccer Shootout, or the Soccer Shootout. It's soccer. What else can I say about soccer? This is pretty good though. FIFA 96. Now, obviously, FIFA video games are popular now. Probably always been popular. But now it's like a trendy thing to what, like football or soccer. And it's pretty good. It actually kind of reminds me of the way they made the NBA Jam games. Which, speaks of the devil, the NBA Jam game, NBA Live games, I mean. NBA Live 95. NBA Live 96, NBA Live 97, which with Mitch Richmond on the cover, and NBA Live 98 with Tim Hardaway. And this doesn't work, and that kind of made me mad, because it's like every other game I own works perfectly. This one doesn't for some. This one doesn't for some reason. Well, it'll be replaced at some point. Another basketball game, NCAA basketball, made by Nintendo. I used to play this game constantly. It's a piece of shit. It doesn't age. It has not aged well at all. But again, Nintendo never really made sports games all that well. First Super Nintendo game I ever played. Tecmo Super NBA Basketball. Tecmo always makes good sports games, at least back then, and I always liked it. It's a little dated, obviously, but it's a good game. I like it. And now we go into the real good sports games, at least for the time. Here's NHLPA hockey, and the legendary NHL 94 and NHL 95. I am missing the other games in the series. I keep passing them up. I think I'll buy them when I see them. But they're highly, highly regarded hockey games. So I'd recommend you buy them too. They're also in a list of Snes Drunk's other videos about hockey. Hockey games that are worth playing today. And there's very few. But that series is definitely in the higher echelon of NHL hockey games. Finally trying to clear out a little bit. Jeopardy Sports Edition. Just Jeopardy Sports Edition. And the Chess Master. I just played this game with a friend of mine yesterday. I've had him beat, and I had him beat so bad I could not, but it took forever to get checkmate work. But then again, I don't know the rules of tennis. The rules of chess very well. But as chess games go, it's not bad at all. Super Strike Eagle. The game actually has pretty good graphics, but I haven't played it much because it's another shooter that I'm not good at. The worst basketball game I own. Bill Lambert's Combat Basketball. What a hunk of shit. Everybody says it's like the worst game, or one of the worst games ever for the Super Nintendo. It's cliche to say it, I know, but it is the truth. It is awful. It is so bad. I can't. Oh God. I feel like I'm like a parrot with everyone else being a parrot because they say this game is so bad. I don't care. It has to be said. But the worst game I do own is Lester the Unlikely. AVGN talked about this game. Everyone's talked about this game. It probably has the worst protagonist of any Super Nintendo game or any game. And it's like, I wasted $20 on this when I was a kid. This was one of the most. I regretted it back then. It was bad back then. I mean, you know, when you say games like, oh, some of these games don't age well. That game was bad back then. It was that bad. What else do we have here? Wheel of Fortune. Where in time is Carmen Sandiego? Actually, I want to play that. I want to really get into that in those games. Bugs Bunny of a Rabbit Rampage. I have not gotten that far in this game. It has good graphics. It kind of reminds me of how Disney would do their animation. So it was the Disney animated games were very much like playing a cartoon, like playing the actual cartoon or the animation. And this is one of those games that's kind of like that. But the game is so... it's mediocre. It's just mediocre. Here we go. Animaniacs by now evil Konami. This is back when Konami was number one, it seemed like. Actually, it's not a bad game at all. Very good game. It's pretty difficult, as most old school Konami games are. This game is praised by some people, but it's MTV's Beavis and Butthead. Kind of an iffy game. I not much more I can say about that one. Pretty mediocre. I just gotta say it's mediocre. And now we're gonna get into a big series here. Mortal Kombat, the one without the blood. I know. Ooh. Actually, it's not a bad. It's actually I actually have always thought that it wasn't a bad game. It actually looks, other than not having blood in it, it actually kind of sort of looks like the arcade game. But you gotta have the blood in there. I'm sorry. It's Mortal Kombat is supposed to be a gory game. All of them are supposed to be really gory. That's what you expect going into it. You have to have the blood in there. Otherwise, it's just gonna look half-assed. And the Genesis version had the blood, and that one made more money. And that one has had better sales numbers or whatever it is. And just blew that one out of the water. I like it because it has nostalgic value to me, and it's not a bad game. Just feels kind of half-assed sometimes. But when they came out with Mortal Kombat 2, this dominated. This is actually, in many ways, one of the better Super Nintendo fighting games. It really is a great game. That's one of the things, because that Snes Drunk said, like, there's no, where he says, like, oh, there's really no Mortal Kombat game on the Super Nintendo worth playing. I agree with him that they do seem outdated, and probably are dated, but they are pretty good games. They're up there when it comes to fighting games on the Super Nintendo. And then we got Mortal Kombat 3, and its update, I think, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. When I was a kid, for the longest time, I wasn't a fan of Mortal Kombat 3. I'm starting to turn around on that, but it took a while. It just took a while. Classic. Killer Instinct. Boy, the lighting here is getting dark. That's why I'm showing. This is pretty much that. But really, really good game. Really good, solid. At least top 30 Super Nintendo game, I think. I might be off base on that. Maybe that's a little too high, but it's still a really good game. And the better version of Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Ha. Okay, what else? We're clearing up really fast. Regular Jeopardy. Just the same as Sports Jeopardy, except it's Jeopardy. I don't know. Monopoly. Just video game Monopoly. Wings 2. Wings 2. Aces High. It's kind of like an World War I aerial dogfighting game. Pretty good. Actually, pretty good. I'm just not good at it. Again, it's another shooter. I'm not good at it. I don't like games I'm not good at now. I don't blame the game. It's just me. I blame myself. I suck. Here is a classic nostalgia trip for anybody. Mario Paint. And I believe, there we go, I have the mouse for it. I remember I had the mouse when I was a kid. I lost it, which made this game pretty much useless. And I found it for $10 at the local pawn shop, Big Daddy's, for like $10. And probably a little too much for a 20-year-old mouse. But it does have some nostalgic value to me. So most of my stupid purchases are nostalgia based, I feel. And here's another one of the worst games ever made. Home Alone 2. Just pretty bad. Don't buy it. Don't be stupid like me, kids. You know, buying stupid bad video games. And here is Super Caesar's Palace with the Vanna White wannabe on there. It's pretty good. Not quite as good as Vegas Stakes, though. And now, It's getting dark in here. I may even turn on lights. I'm probably going to stop this video at about 5 minutes. So I'll show you a couple more and I'll split it up. So anyway, we'll keep going with Tiny Toons Wacky Sports Challenge. I can't tell you how many hours I spent playing this game when I was a kid. For some reason, I loved it. And I was a weird kid. I was a real weird kid. Tiny Toon Adventures, Buster Bust Loose, another Konami game. Again, this is when Konami was good and people cared and people thought, oh, what a great company. And oh well. Not worth worrying about. But this is a pretty good game. What else? Oh. Much like the NCAA basketball game, we have NHL Stanley Cup, which has 360-degree Mode 7 view. It's a Mode 7 view of the playing field of the ice. It has not aged well at all. Actually, it's aged pretty damn awfully. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more pile, and then I'm gonna take a break on this. Top Gear. Very solid. Very solid Super Nintendo racing game. Very solid. A game that I feel is solid, but again has not aged well. It's Sun Race FX. Man, it is getting dark. Hopefully you can see that. See, this is all on a camera phone, so I'm pretty much doing this low tech. So, it's not a bad game. Again, has not aged well. Another weird one, Uniracers. Basically a racing game with unicycles. Yeah, it actually is not bad. Actually, Pixar sued. Who made this? I think it was Nintendo. Rare sued Nintendo. Pixar sued Nintendo because Pixar had a short that was very similar to this. So this makes this a kind of sort of rare-ish game. I don't know. It's not bad. I like it. And we're gonna end this video on these 4 games, 4 classics. Final Fight, all jacked up. I think it says Railers and GLK Rec. Probably a rec center that wrote all over this shit. This game is very good. It's actually probably maybe the second or third best beat 'em up on the system. But it was kind of butchered from the arcade version. So keep that in mind. But it's actually a pretty good game. I like it a lot. I'm happy to have it. It was only $5. That game was $5 like 5 years ago. It's probably jumped up by $20 or something. Because that's the nature of the business of retro gaming collecting now. This was a steal. This was a steal I was so happy to get. The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Again, pretty jacked up. It's like $70 on Amazon right now. Probably more somewhere else. And I got it for like $7 at that pawn shop. Like I did not know what he had. I'm pretty sure I'm never gonna get a deal like that again. No pawn shop is gonna be like, oh, we're gonna have Earthbound for like $5. Even though I want Earthbound so badly. Again, but it's like $200. So I had to use the big E word to play it. It's another great game. Batman Returns. Yeah, you can tell now it's getting dark out because you can barely see it probably, but it is a great game based on the Batman Returns movie. One of the few good movie-based games that's actually really damn good. It's really fucking good. I say fuck a lot, I apologize. And last but not least for now, because I still got a lot more games to cover, but we're going to split this video in half, is Turtles in Teenage TMNT 4. Turtles in Time. Oh my god. This game rules. This fucking game rules. I tell you. Everyone says it's great. I'm just preaching to the choir. I'm adding my voice to the millions or thousands, or whatever the hell it is, of people who love this game. It is a great game. I would urge you to play it if you like beat 'em ups, and if you're a big Turtle fan like I was growing up. This game rules. And I remember I bought this game for $20 like 4 years ago. It's like 50 now or something. It's going up. It has a legacy. Everybody loves this game. And it's just a fabulous game. I love it. All right, we'll be back with part 2 later. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, or it might be today when I have more light. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I'll be back soon.